So I was reminiscing the other day and kind of taking a stroll down memory lane and thinking about all the houses I've lived in throughout my life, all the homes that my family and I have owned. And I thought I'd take you along with me and show you a little bit of what I grew up with. Anyway, I'm starting at my house and my dog who never leaves me alone. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the little tour today. So this is where it all started for me. This is where I was brought home from the hospital back in 1980. This is Stanwood, Washington. I only spent about 3 years here, so I don't have a ton of memories, but the memories I do have are definitely core memories. This is a beautiful house built in the late 1800s. I remember playing out in the yard and running through razor grass with my sister. My dad owned a restaurant in the local town, and yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful spot. It still has brick roads on this part of the road. It is a great place to live. When I think of my childhood home, this is the home that comes up. This is the first home that I remember playing as a kid. It backed up to a river. I would catch bullheads, minnows, watch the salmon spawn. This is my childhood home in my memories. Burlington, Washington. We lived here from the early 80s to the late 80s, I believe. It still has great memories for me, and I absolutely loved it here. After Burlington in the early 90s, moved here, and I split my time between this home and another home in Shoreline and Seattle. This was my very first home leaving Skagit County. This is in Shoreline, Washington on Echo Lake. It was a top floor condo with views of the lake. It was great for fishing. They had an indoor pool, a sauna, pool table, and we lived here for just a little over a year, I believe, until we wanted to look for a bigger home with a yard. And that was one of my favorite memories, is going on a house search with my dad, getting to see all the different homes, going to the open houses, being actually involved in that process was really important to me. And truly, it did lead me to the career of real estate. And yeah, I didn't know it back then, obviously, but it was a great experience that I always enjoyed. And even after we did find our new house, we used to love just going to open houses. And that's one of those memories I truly treasure. In the mid-90s, my mom moved to this house, and I remember it being the first one that I could drive to on my own, as I just got my license. This is the house in Shoreline that I lived for about 12 years. This would be the majority of my childhood and teen years. I actually built that carport behind me. I used to have a basketball hoop there. I used to play basketball, ride my bike, skateboard, and yeah, I loved this house. It was quaint. It was nice. Had a big backyard. Even had a tree fort that my dad and I built. Like I said, a little bit of a busier street, and hence the road noise and the different camera angle. It's not really a good place to set up. But yeah, went to school in Shoreline, and this was a great house to grow up in. When Crystal and I first got married, this was our first place. It was a rental, not a purchase, but I did want to include it because it was definitely a pivotal point in my life and a very unique living situation. The apartment itself was very nice. It was clean, it was spacious. The neighbors, on the other hand, not that great. And although this is in Magnolia, Washington, it is not the best neighborhood that we lived in by far. In fact, we lived through, I think, 3 different earthquakes, and didn't know they were earthquakes because we just thought it was the trains coming together like normal, which would shake our windows. We had to call the cops many times on neighbors, and yeah, it was definitely a newlywed experience. So after my wife and I were living in Magnolia and not the best neighbor situation or the neighborhood, we decided we wanted to buy our own place. Our budget was a little bit tight, but we found this cute condo in Shoreline on Echo Lake again. It's the exact same complex that my dad and I lived in when I first moved to Shoreline. We had a nice ground floor unit that would walk out to the ponds and the lake. And it was a really good situation for us. Although it was small, 1 bedroom, this is where we did start our family. And we had our daughter living here for 2 years, and we just all shared the bedroom until we could afford to move to our next home. Thank you for coming along with me today on my little tour down memory lane and seeing the homes that meant a lot to me growing up. And yeah, I basically lived from the border of Bellingham to downtown Seattle and everywhere in between. And it's been a real blessing in my career as a real estate agent to know those markets and those neighborhoods a lot better. It helps me serve you. It helps me serve my friends and family, and I truly appreciate being able to help you all. I hope you enjoyed your day, and yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my backyard. Have a great one.